You know, the fallout from the baseball season, now that the regular season is over, is already happening, and it's happened. Moves are being made very quickly. You know, you hear about Gibbons, Socha, and now Paul Molitor, Hall of Fame player, manager of the Twins. And listen, who's to blame? Everyone's to blame. You know, the new ownership. A lot of fans are blaming the new ownership. They're blaming the two GMs. But give credit, give blame to where blame is due. I think Paul Molitor is to blame as well. He's not a good game manager, okay? Lineup tweaker, and it was horrible with bullpen moves, I think. You could definitely blame the front office too, like I said. But this team wasn't going to start winning playoff games the way Paul Molitor managed. His management of the wild card game last October, look at that, was very telling. You saw the difference between a great manager, Girardi, and Girardi was fired, let go by the Yankees. Nothing to do with losing. I think more had to do with the way they thought he relates to players. Another story. And a mediocre manager in Molitor. Molly is a great dude. He just wasn't cut out for his role. And sometimes, great Hall of Fame players aren't able to kind of convey that thought and get things going to managers. And great Hall of Fame players sometimes don't turn out to be good managers because they have a hard time relating to players and why these players can't do what came second naturally to that former player. So it's a lot of, things there. Some people forget, that the Twins, they had a great roster before the season started. Was it all his fault? Of course not. But his 100-pitch yanked them. Pitching, it was very predictable. And his overuse of guys like, Presley in certain situations was very, very telling. Very telling. I think Mauer batting leadoff was insane, as he batted 200 in that role while batting over 400 with runners in scoring position. This is clearly a guy that didn't look at a whole lot of stats. Now, let me rephrase this team wasn't, it had potential to be a playoff team, okay? After that road Yankee series, there should have been several closed-door meetings. Right? And maybe there were. The season got away from the Twins early on, and you absolutely need a manager to keep this from happening. He toiled with that lineup way too much. No manager should be doing that much shuffling, I think. You know. And to talk about, I think, Twins going to the NL, this guy would have gotten crushed, I think. Batted Mauer leadoff. Now, it's not fair to Joe that he was put in that position too. And I'm sure Mauer would have hit, 300 with 25 plus bombs, batting third in that order, and the guy's prime ended so long ago. And I think Molitor, not much of a stat guy. I think it's just a true statement. Going back to the wild card game, why would you start a guy, Santana, who in his career at Yankee Stadium is 0-6, with an ERA over 10 when you had Gibson, who at the time was undefeated since the July 31st trade deadline. Just like the stat said, Santana got lit up, and even then Molitor at that point just left him in too long. And I love Molitor as a player. There were just way too many walk-off losses and one-run, losses too. Hope all is well. Look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.